Hi there, we're back again, and this time we're going to just focus particularly on what's happened this year for me, and even more so recently, up until 3 weeks ago, all about the Safari World Rally that was held here in SunCity in South Africa. So as I said, on the 1st of January this year, I decided, Dakar, we're going to do it. So we've been focusing on that, and it's been a lot more than I thought. So no, nothing in life is ever easy. But anyway, but it's been good fun. I've really enjoyed having something to focus on, especially a sport that I love, and especially an event that I really want to do. So yeah, we decided what we were going to be riding, and I got hold of, I bought a Cove 450, and that's a fairly newish brand within the Dakar world. They've done about 5 or 6 Dakars now. I did go to Saudi Arabia 2 years ago to the Dakar, and I watched them race. So I'm pretty confident that the bike can do it. So it's an amazing bike, 31 liters of fuel, specially built for the Dakar. And so far, I've absolutely loved it. So we bought that early this year, but that was the easy part. It arrived in a box in my driveway, and we took it out, and then came the real work at the end of the day, because it's pretty much a standard bike, and then we had to make it Dakar ready. So we had to put on larger screens. With all this came from Cove, but larger screens, and then as you can see, we have a lot of rally equipment that needs to go onto the bikes, which I can show you in a little bit. And that's unfortunately only the brackets are there, because you've got to rent the equipment. You can only rent the equipment for the duration of the races. So you put all the brackets and the power wiring on, but then you've got to rent 2 things: the ERTF, the road book, which is your digital road book nowadays. You've got to rent that, and then also you've got to rent the IRITRAC, which is your safety satellite tracking beacon or box that goes onto your bike. So all this was new to me. We did not quite use this equipment when I last came off the world circuit, which was a long time ago. We used to use paper-based road books, and then pretty much for safety standards, we used some, I can't even remember, some third-party tracking equipment, and then IRITRAC came along many years after that. Anyway, so it took quite a lot of time, energy, and of course money to build the bike, and that actually, to get ready to do the Safari South African Rally, which was the second leg of the World Rally Championships, the third leg, which was held in the middle of May, nearly a month ago. So to get ready for that, it was just an incredible amount of work. It's just not easy, because no one really builds Dakar bikes, so you can't really just go down to your local dealership and see what they've got. So you really had to find some good mates internationally. You had to deal with the different people. I had to find what brackets to bring in. They all came in from France. I had to get them mounted, had to get some made here, just outside Durban, through a local company. So yeah, all that took a good month of hard preparation, lots of working on weekends and evenings. But we got it right, and I was really nervous when we went to SunCity to go and race that I wasn't going to make it through scrutineering. But, well, I did. I actually failed it 3 times. So I failed it 3 times, and 6 hours later, I had to move aerials, I had to take off towers and do some rewiring. But eventually we got there. And yeah, we passed through scrutineering, and that's actually a badge up here that they put on there to say you're ready to race. And actually that was a lot of my pressure gone. After that, I was so looking forward to the race. So yeah, we passed through to scrutineering on the Saturday. The cars did on the Sunday. Monday we did prologue. It was about a 160k round trip, some on the road, and then a short prologue out in the bush. We did okay. We had a great prologue. We also had a great team up there as well. I had a great support from Amsoil, who sent up quite a big team, motor mechanics as well. So that, alongside with Surf Fruit for the rehydration, and also West Town as well. So we set up camp up there, and it was absolutely fantastic. I just loved being with all these Dakar people once again, The energy is amazing. You know, you've got all the cars there. So the trucks weren't there, but the cars were there. You've got Carlos Sainz, you've got Sebastian Loeb, you've got all of our top South African drivers. So there's a lot of energy that's going on in the pits, and lots of you know, noise and muscle, and you know, and cars driving around and being fixed till 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, so the cars did Sunday. Prologue, as I said, went well on the Monday. Then Tuesday we had about a 600 kilometer stage, and did really well. Absolutely kept well within my limits. We had about a 250 road prologue section to do in the morning. It is winter time here in South Africa. It was pretty cold. It was about 2 or 3 degrees when we left in the morning. Then we did a 250k road section out into the bush, and then I think it was also just over a 300 kilometer time trial. Did really well there. Picked up about 10 positions on day one. Absolutely loved it. The bike was absolutely phenomenal. It really went well. I was very pleased with the suspension, the setup. So that was all. It was worth all of the hassle and the hours of preparation we did. And then we went back to the pits in SunCity. Day 2 came along, and we went out to race again. Had another great day, and then day 3 was the marathon stage. Was 700 k's out, and then sleeping over in the bush, and 700 k's back. Unfortunately, on that day, I got through about 578 kilometers of racing, and I was only 8 kilometers from the end of the special stage, and unfortunately the cars kind of creep up behind you. I didn't quite hear the audible warning system. When you're racing, you don't really hear it, and I didn't hear what was going on, and I turned around and I saw a car 5 meters behind me. I pulled off the track into the bush to try and not to be run over, and the car came speeding on by. Lots of dust and rocks and everything else, and I went back. I had to go back onto the racing line again. Went back onto the racing line, still in the dust. I didn't even see what happened. I just went straight down. I must have, well, I saw afterwards, I got into a rut, a mud rut that was about this deep. Well, it's the same. You can see the scar on the motorbike here. So the actual rut came up to here, and it just took the bike down, took me down. And that was it. And then I got a satellite call from the safety center, and they said, rider 33, are you okay? And I said, look, I think I am, because I really wanted to get back on the bike. But I did realize then I'd really badly dislocated my right shoulder. In fact, so much so my arm was pretty much really nearly behind my back. And then they called me back again, and they said, right, 33, what's your situation? And I said, look, I'm just trying to sort myself out. But then I was kind of realizing I don't think I was going to get back on the bike. And then within 3 minutes after that, so 9 minutes after the accident, the helicopter was hovering, looking for me in the bush. I picked up my helmet and I waved my helmet around, and they saw me and they came and landed, and the medics came across to me. Obviously saw my severely dislocated right shoulder, and wanted to give me some medication to put it back in again. I said, no medication, because I need to get back on that bike and finish the last 8 kilometers. So they said, well, that's your choice. So I sat there on the ground, and they sat behind me and held me, and they grabbed my arm from behind my back, and they rotated it back round again. And eventually, we all heard this massive click, and it popped back in again. So that was good. It was back in again. And then I thought I would be okay. But unfortunately, it was my right hand. So that's your throttle hand, your brake hand, and your main control hand. So I realized that I couldn't carry on riding, because I couldn't even lift my hand up at all. So then I did call through to the control center on the sat phone and say, right, race is over, out of the race. And then I jumped in the helicopter, and they took me the last 8 kilometers back to the overnight stop. And there, once again, my shoulder, they still weren't happy that my shoulder was actually put in correctly. Still had quite a lump to it. So they then gave me some beautiful gas and medication, and off I went to sleep. I slept for 6 minutes while they re-rotated my shoulder, and they put it back in again. And when I woke up 6 minutes later, I didn't even know I'd been asleep. There was my shoulder back in again, but still didn't help. And then they transported me 400 kilometers to the nearest hospital, and they did an x-ray, and we realized I'd also cracked my scapula on the back of my right hand shoulder. So all in all, it wasn't such a happy result. So I will be more careful next time when racing with cars. We know they're dangerous, we know they're faster than us, but they've got amazing technology to tell you that. But unfortunately, you're not always focusing. You're trying to ride and race and look at your own navigation. But I'll be a lot wiser next time. But anyway, so well, I went back to the pits the next day, drove 900 kilometers to be picked up from the hospital, pick up my motorbike, which was out on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and then 300 kilometers back to SunCity. We did all that, and then got back, and the mechanic, Louis, started straight away fixing my bike, getting ready to race again. I was hoping to get back on again. The next morning I went and saw the FIM official doctor. He looked at my shoulder and said, okay, if you think you're good enough and fit enough to get back on a bike, so he signed me off. They also took my helmet away when we left the accident scene, and they checked the helmet for cracks and anything severe, which there wasn't. So I got my helmet back. And then they also checked my blow-up vest, the Alpine Stars inflatable vest, and that was also still in working condition. So myself, the helmet, and the vest, we've got 3 clearances to go. So anyway, so I thought I was back in the race again. I went and talked to the FIM officials, and they said, okay, I can race the last day, which was fantastic. And then later on, I got a call to say that they'll let me race the last day, but I won't get any points for finishing because I missed a day or so. I missed a day of the actual race, doing the recovery. So I said, okay, well that doesn't make sense. Further injuring myself because I was quite badly. The right shoulder was then still very swollen and everything else. So basically, I decided not to do the last day because it didn't make sense, and then I did sit down, however, with the Dakar officials, and we had a good talk about my Dakar, which was meant to have been 2026, the 3rd of January. And they said, look, I still need to do a qualifier, so they'll push it out to 2027. And hence, if you've been following me on social media, you'll see now what we've got a plan. Instead of the next 5 months, we've got the next year and 5 months, which actually suits me to do some more riding and racing. So I'm off to Morocco in the middle of October to go and do the Rally du Maroc. And I'm really keen on doing that. I've never raced in Morocco or the Sahara Desert, so I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, we're going to go and do that. We're going to go and get some more points. If I finish that, basically I'm in for Dakar because I've really got points from the last few races before SunCity. So yeah, we're all good to go. I'm going to ship this bike over, and off we packing up, and looks like I'll be doing Money Motor category, which is self-supporting, and I'm going to go do, I don't know the total distances, but it's they're quite long days. They 500 to 700 k's a day for, I think it's a 7-day rally. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's the next thing that we're gearing up for. I'm waiting for this to recover. This should be good in probably about another 3 weeks' time. I've done a lot of physiotherapy and also oxygen chamber work for rehabilitation. But I think I'm probably 3 weeks away to getting back on the mountain bike for a while and then back onto the motorbike. So yeah, that was just a story of my year, of my activities so far this year. It's been phenomenal. I'm absolutely loving this Road to Dakar program, as it's called. And I have learned so much this year about regulations, medical, all this new safety kit and all this stuff that we have to use to race with, which I'll do another separate program on sometime. But the navigation is phenomenal, but I've got it. I know how it works, but I do need some more practice, hence going to Morocco, which we'll then obviously do a whole lot of stories about. But so far, yeah, loving the Road to Dakar. And if anyone of you watching this out there want to know information about how to prepare bikes, paperwork, navigation and stuff, I'm more than happy to share it. So just actually get hold of me through these social networks. But yeah, so far it's been a brilliant year. A little small injury, but As I say, whenever you have a setback, you can have a better comeback. So we are up and ready, and absolutely I'm fit. I'm back on a spinning bike already, doing good mileages. So keeping fit, just waiting for the shoulder to mend. And then we are back on the road to Dakar for 2027.